Hey everyone, Marius B, option B, or option C, definitely not option A. How you doing? Good morning. Marius just wrote in the chat, my body is A temple, B, foobar. Definitely foobar. There ain't no temple here. So, how is everyone doing on this beautiful, windy, warm Wednesday morning? So, daylight savings kicked in for many of you in the EU, has it? I wasn't aware. I thought it was next week. So, that's pretty good. So, I'm just looking at the chat. So that means it's earlier for everyone. What time is it? You all. Hey, Faultnology. So, that means I could probably start even later now. Did you go to bed at all last night? Oh, I go to bed. I just don't sleep very well. I'm a terrible sleeper. Oh, people are at it already. God, that is so bright. It's not so bright here. That's 50% brightness. That is just... The camera just blows it out completely. So it's just before 9 o'clock. Or 8 for some, 9 for... Okay, well that's better than 10 or 11. So I have actually added some new things to the logo. So we'll see if anyone can get them. And I'm curious to see if I fixed the breathing. It should be fixed, but I can't test it until the stream's live. Thanks, Pelev. I think that's how I pronounce your name. I hope so. So why did that not change? Breathing seems still not to be working, which is weird. I'll have to fix that. Maybe we'll fix it on so panting. Yeah, I wonder why. I really want to know why it's not working. You don't want to see my code though. It is shocking. It's really just hacked together. Yeah, Rainbow's working. There's a new serpent. Serpent looks different now. Is that, you want it to fall off the wall? I'm trying to look around just if it equals... So why is this not working? I'm just looking at the code at the moment. Hey, I'll get to chat in a second. I'm trying to work out what is going on here and why it's not breathing. Because it definitely should be. Fire alarm. Well, I'll show you the new ones. Well, firstly, there's a new serpent. I should say how to chat first before I do all this, before it gets too big. not going to be able to set it while other people are. No teal and orange, but you can set RGB directly. Maybe it's just not working. That's really... I'm trying to change it. Hang on, guys. Just 1 second. I'm trying to see if it's even connected to the right stream. It'll be funny. It seems to be a much longer delay for my chat than for everyone else's. Okay. If I can't see it change, I don't know how I'm going to switch it. So... Okay, let's hide it. Okay, that worked then. Right. So that's Serpent, and now you can change the color of Serpent as well. So if you go yellow or whatever. Who just said... Right, Amanda said blue, and then the Serpent stopped. Okay, I'm going to say hi to everyone in the chat, then we're going to fix this. We're going to fix it, and then we'll get to KiCAD. So, Yumbo Prime, good morning. Adam, Mr. Who 30. Peter, hello. No, didn't have a choice but to wait. I apologise. Christopher White, hello. You're also waiting for Reflow Master Pro, are you? I just got my arm caught in my chair. Oh. Yeah, me too. Mako, morning. Rat Madness, hello. Jerry, Embedded Hobbyist, hi. Marius, hello. Graham Nobes. Chatsy, hello. Bruce Siegel, Folknology, Marius. Just hi to Marius. I did. I'm scrolling really quick, maybe too quick. Austin's Creations, hello. You're on time. Hojad, hi. Absidy, hello. Only 53 days till Christmas. I've not asked Santa for anything. I don't celebrate Christmas, but even if I did, I wouldn't ask Santa for anything, because... yeah, that wouldn't happen. Scrolling. Dave, Odessa, hello. Henrik, hi. Okay, I don't know how to pronounce this. Marzianin? I'm not sure how to pronounce that. I apologise, but there you go. Mike, good morning. Andreas, hello. Yasim, hi. Brad Anderson. Oh, God. I tell you what, my eyes are terrible. Jason Kuhn. I gotta stop scrolling while I'm trying to read. Andrew McDonald, hello. Okay, I think I got everyone, but I probably didn't. And if I didn't, I'm sorry. And if I got your name wrong, sorry. Like Brad, sorry. Wow. Okay. Why am I moving to KiCAD? Because just Eagle is dog's balls on the Mac now. It's just not usable. I have 3 Macs running Big Sur, and 3 Macs I can't use Eagle on because it runs at like 3 frames a second. So I am forcing myself into KiCAD. I know there are other options I could be using. You know, again, if Altium wasn't so expensive, I would be looking at that. But otherwise, there really isn't like, yeah. KiCAD's pretty good, I gotta say. Hey, Alan, good morning. So, there's so much to talk about. I want to talk about my middle mouse button, but I want to see if we can fix this. KiCAD's great. Hello, JF. Okay, let's see if Adam's breathe works. Why are you excited, JF? Okay, yeah, no. So, why is it... I think there could just be really delay with chat or something, because... I'm not sure. Like, you can see every time it stops, it's polling for the next thing. Just just so you know, every time someone does an exclamation mark and something, you potentially stomp everyone else's one. So if someone's tried to set something legitimately and then you do something like confused, right, which I guess is funny, it's going to prevent anyone from getting their command through. So just keep that in mind. Well, the Reflow Master's already available. This is the Pro, which may still be something for your shop. I don't know. Hey, Andy. I started a few minutes early. It grabs the last one. So when it just scrapes the very last one that came through when it does a check, and all the ones before that are gone, right? Because it can't grab every single one. Okay, we'll go to the code is terrible. Well, actually, before I do that, let me just see if the new ones work. So can everyone just stop for a second? I added this last week. A queue is pointless because the queue will never get, like, it'll just get bigger and bigger and bigger, and then people are going to have to wait half an hour to get their thing done. So a queue is not going to work. Like, it's got to just be one of them. Okay, so trails worked. Okay, cool. So now I've also got a new one called Sparkles. Well, so that's not what the library does, Mike. That's a good idea, but Brian wrote the library. So that's Sparkles. That's a new one. So I'd have to rewrite Brian's library, which I can. So right now his is just set to the first one it finds or the last one it finds. Right? Now I've got another one, but this one doesn't look very good yet. I only got it working yesterday. It doesn't look good yet. I'm going to keep playing with it. Fireworks. Let's see if this one works. There we go. Yeah, that doesn't look very good. So it shoots a thing out, and then it explodes, but it doesn't look good yet. It was hard enough just to get this working and getting all the wrapping around working and everything else. Hey, Clem. So yeah, I'm not overly a fan of this one. I wouldn't mind doing just a general explode one, I guess. It also doesn't help that it's because it wraps around the corners and stuff. It should not move after it picks a spot. Well, no, it does. So it shoots the fireworks out, gets somewhere, and then explodes in both directions. But it's really hard to tell on the logo what it's doing because it's all rounded, right? Okay, that won't do anything. The thing is that Brian's library doesn't know what the commands are, right? So it doesn't know how to work out which ones are good and which ones bad. By the time it gets to me, it's too late, right? It's got to happen at the library end. So what it really needs to do is I need to grab, let's say, the last 5 or 10 and parse them myself, but that's not what gets passed back to me. Brian is not an Easter egg. No, but the question is, why isn't breathe working? This is really frustrating. You see, it switched, but it's not fading. Oh, what is going on? Maybe it's just too bright. No, it's definitely not fading. Breathe. Oh, hang on. Oh no, that should work. It's something to do with my brightness setting. It's not cycling. Okay, one moment. Listen. Okay, I'm going to reflash it. Sick explosion. That's funny. Okay, while that's compiling and uploading, let me talk to you about my mouse and KiCAD. So, for those who caught my stream last week, I was having a hell of a... Oh god, I can't spell brightness. I was having a hell of a time with what I thought was a bug with my middle mouse button. So if I switch over, so it's not going to happen now, and I'll explain why in a moment. So what was happening was when I would middle click to drag like this, if there was, well, look at that glitching. If there was something under my mouse cursor when I did it, a percentage of the time it would click that thing behind it. And so that was pretty reliable for me for that to happen. And I looked into it a bit more. What I did is I actually went and grabbed a different mouse and tried it and had the same problem. This is after the stream. So I bug reported it. Was chatting with John, KiCAD John Crafton, and we're trying all sorts of stuff, and they were looking into it on their side, and they couldn't work out why, because there was no code at all that did click for middle click, right? And see, that should be breathing, and it's not breathing. Okay, I'll get back to it in a sec. So we just couldn't work it out. Anyway, so this is my mouse. Hang on, let's go back to here. This is my mouse. This is the mouse I use. They're really cheap Logitech mice. And the reason I use them is they're really small. I've got fairly small hands, right? They're small and they're extremely comfortable. Like the way it goes in my hand is like this. And I can move the mouse without moving my wrist, right? I can do really fine detail. So it's actually surprisingly a very good and accurate mouse. Hey, did you cool things? So it turns out though, so I've got 3 of these. I've got one on every one of my 3 computers. I've got my iMac over there. I've got my Mac Mini there, my iMac here, and my MacBook Pro in the house. And I had the same on all 3, so that way I've got muscle memory and everything else. You know what I mean? Like, it's just comfortable wherever I move to. It turns out that 2 of the 3 of them have a problem. This one doesn't. So it was my mouse. And what it is, here's the busted one, is that when you push the middle click button, right, I'll see if I can do it in the microphone. So have a listen to this. Okay, you probably can't hear it. What happens is when I push the middle button, if I push it a little bit too hard, and it's not a lot, it pushes down on the left button inside. So it was doing a middle and then it was doing a left click. So that's what it was. The left click was actually happening. So, but it only happens on 2 of the 3 of my mice. How crazy is that? So what I did was I bought myself some new mice. I bought myself some of these Microsoft mice. And the reason I got these is because they're low profile, which I like. I didn't want a big bulky mouse. Like, I've got some other wide mice I was using in the meantime. I don't like having my hand in that, that shape, like this, where it's up and you got that I don't like those type of mice, right? They're just not comfortable on my wrist. I got myself this and I hate it. I got 2 of them, one for here and one for inside the house. They were cheap. They were only $49, which I was surprised. They're not bad, but they're just not comfortable at all. They're really, really uncomfortable. The way it sits in my hand, I have to move my whole hand to move it. I can't use my wrist to move. And the click on it is, I don't know if you can hear it, it's like 3 times louder than this mouse. And the middle click, oh my God. So I've got the one mouse now that does work, and I move it around with me. I'm gonna have to buy some more. So that's all it was. It was just that. If the mouse doesn't have RGB, is it really a mouse? I don't want RGB on my mouse. This is the $15 mouse. Anyway, it's the cheapest Bluetooth mouse you can get. Hey Dave. Hey John. And hey Samuel. Anyone else I've said? Oh, Johnny. Hello, Johnny. Hope I didn't miss anyone else. So that's what my KiCAD issue, that was one of them. But in that process, I also bug reported a crash, and I bug reported all of the Eagle import issues that I was having, and they fixed them all. They fixed them all within like 48 hours. So the current version I've got right now that I'm working on, which is still not the latest, I think I'm 3 days behind now, has got all of my Eagle, or the ones that I know about, my Eagle imports fixed. How cool is that? So the labels being in the wrong spot, we worked out why the pin numbers weren't showing. That was actually an Eagle issue, believe it or not. But they've now worked out how to compensate for it if it happens. Hey Robson. And there was another bug. Yeah, so fantastic. Like, how good is that? Bug reports fixed almost instantly. Yeah, so I gotta say, I mean, that alone deserves everyone to be using KiCAD. The support is outstanding. Outstanding. That is Serpenting, by the way. Serpent's new. Serpent looks like this now. It's not RGB. But I've broken this thing, and breathing's not working, and I don't know why. So frustrating. You love your iMac, but for CAD, it's my PC all the way. Well, it shouldn't be. It should make no difference, right? The software should be the same. Will Pro have Ethernet? No. Is there SPI or will there be pins broken out to do it? What do you want Ethernet for? Well, Ethernet is by default. Like, to add Ethernet, you need to add like hardware to do that, right? I mean, there's an ESP32, but it's like, for you to add Ethernet to this would require a lot of work, like externally. I don't even think you could, even if I broke out a bunch of pins, maybe. But why would you want Ethernet? So the Wi-Fi stuff I've got with this is only to adjust settings. You can't control the device. You can't start a Reflow and monitor your... I might put monitoring, but you can't start and stop Reflow with it. You have to do that manually, because that's encouraging people to not be near their ovens when they're reflowing. You mean the Autodesk support isn't outstanding? Oh, it's just non-existent. And by the way, I got a reminder the other day. So last week I did the whole shame on you Autodesk. I got a reminder the other day that my renewal is coming up and that I have to pay to be able to continue to open my files in Eagle. Because I'm using 4-layer, and you don't get 4-layer as part of the free tier, I have to keep paying to be able to keep opening my files up. Prefer MX Master, which... Yeah, they're just they're a bit big. Like I like a low profile mouse. CPR is what? Who? Where? Hey Serendipity. Outstanding in terms of we are still waiting for it. What? Who? What did I miss then? Oh, right. Well, it's not that they don't have support. They've killed the product off. Anyway, okay. So the good news is I haven't finished this yet, but I've made progress. I'm getting much better at it. There's still some weird things that are happening, though. I noticed yesterday with importing, and it could have been me, the way I imported, the way I picked layers when I imported the Eagle file. I might have accidentally put some things that shouldn't have been in the silk screen in the silk screen. I don't know. I don't recall setting them, so I think they, you know how there are defaults. Hey Rob, so if you're going to create a, I'll show you. We're going to close this off. I'm going to import this again, just as a dummy, just to show you what I'm talking about. Because it might have been me, but it might not have been me. So import from boop, boop. Nope. Why is this not in alphabetical order? Okay, I'm going to put this in, we're going to stick it, destination, dump. I'm creating folders called dump bin. Dump bin 2 is where I'm going to put it. So when it brings it in, it asks you to assign the layers, right? These are the layers from Eagle, and these are the KiCAD layers because they're named differently, right? And you've got this auto match. Now this is what I want to see with the auto match, because I've got things in doc, which is correct, that should not be in silk. So it's putting those in fab, which is correct. I want to see what else is putting in silk. Names and place. Right, so that's really interesting, because if I just bring that in just as it is, okay, now look at that. I just brought that in and all the labels are mostly correct. Ignoring, yeah. So they fixed all the left, right, and center alignment. Although this one seems wrong. This one should be aligned the other way. But all these other ones are centered and they're correct. Like this unexpected maker used to come in, whoops. This unexpected maker here used to come in down here. And this stuff here used to come in over here. So they fixed a lot of stuff. But here's the interesting thing. You see this button? So this button outline here is in the silk screen layer. If I turn off the silk screen, you see that? But it's not in the silk screen in my Eagle. It's in the dock. There's no, like if I look at a blank PCB with this button, there's no silk screen on it in Eagle. So there's still something going on. There's still a few things I need to find out. There are some things that shouldn't be there. And so the problem is you get all these DRC errors saying that the silk screen is going over the pad, or you get warnings, right? And those warnings shouldn't really be there because they shouldn't really be going through. But look at that. That is 1,000 times cleaner. Hey, Mark. Because I imported it wrong. Of course I did. This is 1,000 times cleaner than what I started with a couple of weeks ago. Thanks, Digicool Things. Well, there's no point bug reporting, so there's no point complaining about stuff if you don't bug report it, right? And, you know, I've spoken a lot with John, you know, off the main KiCAD list. They don't have a very big team. And so the general rule is don't ever assume that the devs know about any bugs, right? Just bug report it. Like, look for the bug. If you can't see it, bug report it. Even if you're not sure if it's a bug report it, right? Like I bug reported the mouse thing. It sent people in a wild goose chase trying to work it out. It turns out it was me and my mice. I get that. But in the same process, there were some other bugs that I found, and there were some other clarifications that I found. Like there's some usability things that I found on this thing that I'm chatting about with John, because I'm not sure they make sense. And another thing, like with the mouse button, like if I had clicked the middle mouse button first, why would KiCAD even register the left click? Now, technically, even though my mouse was busted, I can't see why KiCAD should have registered the click anyway. But having a chat with John, he also can't necessarily work out why either. But he can't think of reasons that might stuff up if they block the left click. You know what I mean? Like, it's nice to be able to talk to the developers about it. So for those that don't know, there's a KiCAD Discord server. Are any of you that use KiCAD not on the Discord server? I'm going to do a edit. I'm going to put a no limit. I never expire. Generate a link. Copy. So this is the Discord server for KiCAD. It's still fairly new. It's only like 6 months old or something, or a bit longer. I don't know. Because there's also a forum and stuff. But there are devs on here, and there are, like, if you need to ask a question, like, here it is here, right? Like, the people here are just fantastic. It's not like the Autodesk forums. Yes, there's support people on the Autodesk forums, but it's slow. Sometimes it's a little condescending. When I say sometimes, I mean a lot of times. Just the whole community. Look, there are definitely some people that take KiCAD too far in their love of it and the hate of other things. You get that in every community. But just generally, having access to developers and having the ability to ask questions and chat about stuff is just fantastic. It really, really is. They don't have a bug report tab. No, because they do it on... They want you to put bug reports straight into GitLab in the issues. No point bug reporting here, because if you bug report it in here, no one's going to write it up. You have to write it up. If you've got a bug, you've got to write it up. If you've got a bug and you want it fixed, do the work, write up the issue, and then they look at it almost immediately. And it's insane how quickly they're going through stuff. Like, they're pushing towards RC1 at the moment for 6. It's very exciting. And that's why people don't report bugs. Why? Because it's too much work. That's fine, but then, hey Mike, but then it won't ever get fixed. That's the thing, right? And if you're okay with that, that's cool. I'm not saying you specifically, but if people are okay with bugs not being fixed, and then don't complain about the issue. It doesn't take long to put a bug report in. They ask, it's really simple stuff. You don't even have to put, like, for the version information, like, they ask you for all the version information that you're working on, but they provide you everything you need. Like, when you go to About KiCAD, right, you click the copy version and you paste it to where they tell you to put it. You don't have to type anything in. Like, they make it really easy to put a bug report in. To V6 let you open 2 designs at once. You can already open 2 designs at once. You just can't open two of these at once, but you can separately open as many instances of PCB editor as you want to, I believe. So, hang on, PCB new. There you go. Oh, hang on. Is that 5 points? No, 5.99. Why didn't it pick up my dark skin? That's interesting. Oh, Feb 2021. I must have an old version of I must have an old version of KiCAD lying around on this machine somewhere. Yeah, GitLab is just, it's like GitHub, but it's an alternative. Like, they're both Git. GitHub is just a web interface-ish thing for Git repositories, right? So, well, there you go. Mark's got that. It's the same with KiCAD. Sorry, with Eagle. Like, Eagle doesn't support multiple versions open at the same time, but you can hack around it through the terminal. They should have a drop down, report bug, make it simple for people. I don't know. Like how simple do you need to make it? I don't know. Like, okay, we're going to discard this anyway. Go away. I need to go back to my other project. Okay, so here we go. We're up to. I need to get a logo cam or something set up. Hey, Belant. And hello to anyone I haven't said hi to. Hansi, hi. I'm seeing if there's anyone else. So at this point in time, it's really just clean up, but I still want to break out some more pins. Like the S2's got a lot of pins that I could break out. I did rearrange everything. I moved a whole bunch of pins around in here. And all the pins are exposed now. So I did rearrange some things to make it more accessible. I'm doing a little bit more layer hopping than I would have liked, but there's not really a lot I can do about that. And there's a whole bunch of stuff. Okay, so when you do a DRC check, like you get errors and you get warnings, right? Obviously the warnings you can ignore, whatever. I've got a bunch of errors still here I need to deal with. And they're kind of bizarre. I still have to work out these custom pad shapes. And Mark, sorry to say, but the info you gave me last week on the custom pad shapes, I was told was incorrect by the KiCAD guys. But I haven't looked into the right way to do it yet. So, well, the main reason I'm putting an ESP32 is it's fast, right? There are no other micros that I can get my hands on right now that are even close in the price range that are anywhere near as fast as the ESP32, right? I mean, the natural progression would have been from the SAMD21 would have been maybe SAMD51 or go to one of the STM32s, but they're still not anywhere near as fast as the ESP32. And ESP32's got connectivity, which is really cool. Hey, Brayden, I'm going to generate a bloat more DRC messages in 5.1. Well, I guess it really depends on how bad your design is, right? But like with all these warnings, so it tells you all about where you're clipping your solder mask and stuff. And so, you know, like all along here, you know, like Eagle's never done anything like that. Like I've got the solder mask going outside the edge of the board, or it's right on the edge of the board. And so if I go and go to the 3D viewer, right, you can see that it goes off the edge, which is by design, and I don't even really need that there anyway. Like I don't need that for placement of the buttons. The buttons can only go in one way. So I might just go in and just get rid of the silk on these anyway. So I'm getting I'm getting much faster and better at it. I'm working out more of the hotkeys, and I had to reconfigure the delete key because it assumes a keyboard that has the 2 delete keys on it on a Mac, but I use one of these wireless small ones, and so it's only got the 1 delete key, and it was the wrong delete key. Yeah, Mark is doing it wrong. It's spreading. It's a disease. So you're an NRF fanboy now. Okay. So the STM32WB series are 3 times more expensive than the ESP32, less memory, less flash, and not as fast. Well, when I say not as fast, there are some things they're faster at. Their floating point is faster, but just in general, in terms of just megahertz, they're not as fast. And they're way more expensive, and they're impossible to source right now. So, you know, like honestly, as Mark just said, cost versus features and power, there's just nothing that comes close to the ESP32. I'm not saying the ESP32 is the best MCU out there. I'm just saying that nothing comes close. And with regards to what I want for this, it's perfect, right? No, I know megahertz is not a pure test. I know that. That's why I just said that, right? But still, function delete. No, that doesn't work on my keyboard. So I had to just use I have to use the back button because there is no delete on my keyboard. That's what I'm trying to explain. There's no delete key on here anywhere. The only key is, they call it delete, but it's what's known as the back button. That one there. That's it. So, does it need Wi-Fi? It doesn't, but Wi-Fi opens up the ability to do things much easier for people. So, like for instance, with my Reflow Master right now as it is, if you want to add your own profiles or change profiles, you need to do it in code, and you need to reflash your Reflow Master. With this, you'll be adding, editing, and maintaining your profiles from a web interface. So you don't have to change firmware. You don't have to recompile anything or anything else. The same with the advanced settings. There's a lot of advanced settings on the Reflow Master Pro that I just can't put. Like I've got a much more extensive settings screen on device on here, but it's not the right interface to be setting a lot of these settings. So my temp controller has Wi-Fi and it does. Oh right, it does make it easier. Yeah. Max have 2 keyboards. On the mini one, it's missing a lot of useful keys. Well, for me, it's not missing any keys. All the keys I need are here. It's just that by default, KiCAD's mapped wrong. I used just the UK US. I don't know what koala layout is. There's Dell on the Mac Duchy. I don't know what that. Hey, Photochromax. Technically, you can avoid the screen. Well, for settings, yes. Again, I'm not going to allow people to control it via a web interface. We'll get to that in a moment. I'll continue on that with a moment. I want to just go into here and what is that? So some of the things that, like, there's still plenty of quirks with KiCAD, don't get me wrong. Like every time I go and open the editor in a new session, it's massive, as you just saw. And I said to bring it down a bit. And I don't even need... not that one. So, see, selecting without changing your grid size can be a bit annoying. I thought that there was a modifier key, but it doesn't seem to work in every mode. Just going to get rid of those. Just don't need them. Okay, so save that. That's only going to have updated the one of them. But I should now be able to, if I go to this one, can I don't, oh right, I can't do it from the library. I didn't edit it in the library. So if I edit the library footprint, then it should update all of them, or I should be able to tell it to update all of them. The first time I did it in the one in the thing. So like the things like that, like in Eagle, you edit it, right? It's always in the library. There's a local version, but you're always referencing the library one. Can you just try something for me? Select a trace in KiCAD and press there is no, that one. Select a trace, okay, and function delete. I'm doing function delete, nothing. It doesn't work, I already told you. I already tried that. It's the wrong key. That's not the delete key on my keyboard, it's the back key. Okay, E, so I should now be able to just update from the library. And update all of those. Okay, close. So that's nice. So that's those ones done. So I still have to work out these in here. Like these pads are not pads. They are if I edit this, These are custom fills. They're polygons. And like that works in Eagle. I don't know yet what that's supposed to be converted to. Like it's not treating it like a pad. There's the pad. So I still have to work that out. What's Hojad saying? Press second from the bottom left in the toolbar. It highlights single layer. Second bottom on the left. I know there are a whole lot of things that I know you can go into. Well, so I can go into what I call isolation mode. That's the other thing, right? So this is what threw me last week. Was I got stuck in this mode and I couldn't get out of it, and I didn't know how I got into it. So the tilde key under my escape key puts you into what's called isolation mode, which is whatever you're hovering over, it'll isolate that. And because I was slamming the escape key all the time to try to get out of the middle click, I must have knocked the tilde key at the same time because the keys are close together. So this is a thing that threw me as well, was I kept, like, I'm on nowhere, right? And it's selecting ground. Why is it selecting ground, right? If I go over here, why is it selecting ground? And it's because of the fill, right? But it's not filled. That's the problem. Like you hit B and it does a fill zones, right? And now I can switch between it's filled but not visible and it's filled and visible. And I can command B to turn them off, right? So they're now unfilled. And if I now hit tilde, it's not selecting anything. Oops. If I just go nowhere, it's not selecting anything. But that looks identical to filled mode, but not selected. So now it's selecting ground, right? So that threw me. I couldn't work out why it was doing that. Now I understand how it works. I'm not convinced though that it's actually working right because I can't get to this fill here. I'm hovering over the fill. This is 5 volts, but it's selecting ground. And that's because there's a fill that's on the back and there's a fill there. But if I unfill, I can now select 5 volts. But they look the same, right? So how do you know which mode you're in? Right, I can be on the unfilled over here, like the icon shows unfilled, and I can fill it. Oops. I can fill it and still be on unfilled. And now it's doing ground. So, like this is how it's supposed to work by design, but you know, there are things like this that have been tripping me up, right? They're just learning things. I just, you know, once you start understanding why things are happening, it becomes easier, like there's less frustration. In the footprint, there's an option to select a real pad plus other drawings and make a real pad from them. Sure, I just need to look into it. I need to, yeah. Sorry, what have I missed? I'm on Big Sur, yeah. I can't move to Monterey right now because of OBS. Hey, Philippe, in Brazil. I do have control in my T962, but want connectivity for reporting status. The Reflow Master won't control the T962. Not as is. You're going to have to do some other hardware stuff to control fans and whatever else. It's not, it won't, yeah. You're not going to get that. This will not drop into the 962. Sorry. That was the consideration of mine when I first designed it. And to make it work on the 962, I had to make it quite different. And the way I had to make it different was going to make it not as useful for people who didn't want to use a 962. So sorry about that. Oh, hello, John. To fix that pad thing, you need to turn the square pad into a custom pad. Everyone say hi to John. John is on the KiCAD dev team. pad mode, and the pad selected, Command E again to exit. Right, so if I start with this one, okay, because this is a good example. So if I edit this, if I edit the footprint, so if I go on this, so if I hit, what do? I do, no, not E, I do Command E. Pad edit mode, press Command E to exit again. Okay, so I'm in Command edit mode, I'm in edit mode. So that means I can just do, how does it let me, where are the commands? For that one, first select the polygon and edit its properties and then turn it on fill shape. Okay, how? Right, so I'm not doing it to the pad, I'm doing it to this. Fill shape, that's what I did on the LDO. So, okay, so now if I do this, if I do Command E, I'm in edit mode, but that's still a separate pad to this thing. Do I need to join them together? Command E twice. Oh, right. So it, okay. Okay. Except I think the thickness of it, it's made it a bit big. If I undo that, if I go back to here, can I edit the thickness, line width? I don't know, I want it actually, okay, and then if I click on that and I go Command E, Command E. No, it still made it really wide. I mean, it's not really a problem, but you see how much wider it is than these bottom pads? It'll join any field pads that touch the pad to the pad. That is very cool. Yeah, that is really cool. See, that's something that Eagle can't do. Like, you can't do custom pad shapes. You can do fills, and then you basically got a pad inside a fill. When it gets manufactured, they're both in the same place, so they're mechanically touching, electrically touching, but you still can't make a custom pad. This is very cool. Try entering edit mode on that pad again. Edit the polygon. I'll edit the polygon. Oh, so this always stays changeable. Oh, and if I go out, so I can still go back in at any time on here. So that's a pad now, but if I go back Command E, oops, it goes back into that mode. That is very cool. Okay. Yep, that is really cool. Okay, so save that. So now I've got, so that should be fixed, although, oh, hang on. No, that's not good. That's not good. Forgot about that. I'm used to, right, so I need to do the mask, and I need to do the paste as well. As you can see here, mask and paste. This is very cool in KiCAD in the same sentence. I never hated KiCAD. It was a struggle. Pre-6 was a struggle for me because of the whole disconnectedness of things. I don't know why this is not sitting in the right spot though. Whoops. That's weird. Why can't I select? So that's the mask, but it's not letting me. Oh, it is. Wait. So the mask is attached to the pad. It can't be because it's sitting in the wrong spot. So how come the mask is correct in terms of its shape? Oh, right, yeah, it did move. The whole pad moved. Okay, must have been me. Yep, you're right. So the mask is attached to the pad. So there must be a setting somewhere for the... Okay, and then that's fine. And then the paste. So I'm going to have to also do a fill on the paste. Fill shape, right? And that should just work for the fill. Clearance overrides tab on the pad properties. Right. Pad clearance 0, solder mask. Right, okay. And you can do custom. Oh, right, so that lists all the custom shapes that make the pad. Okay, that is excellent. Okay, so that one's fixed. So now I need to do this one. Okay, edit the footprint. See, look, that's how it's come in. Which, yeah, okay. So let's just start with the pads. Okay, so Command E, Command E, and then I want to edit that, set that to 0, and then Command E again. Perfect. Okay, I was getting close. I got it to be a fill. I just hadn't got it to work out. I didn't realize they joined together like that with the Command E. I thought I was just modifying the pad itself. So anything it's touching, it'll join with. So I can use any combination of different shapes to create crazy stuff. Command E, E. Delete the filled paste. You can include a paste layer in pad properties. Paste. No, I don't want to do it same as I do. I've got custom shapes for my pads, for my paste. Absolutely do not want to do that. Thank you, Hojad, that you can do it. But that's not what I want to do. I've got very carefully tuned shapes. Oops. For my paste for a lot of these pads. For the ESP32, the module, not yet. I haven't put one in production yet, but like for this one here, the pad shapes are quite different. And this one, that's already fine. So but what I do need to do is, again, these are these need to be 0. Is there a way of setting a default? Oh, I've got to fill it. Whoops. Is there a way to set the default so they don't come in at 0.1? Hey, Justin. Almost all of my parts have custom paste. So, Hey Eric, and you'll forget it by the time. Probably. I forget more than I learn. So I have to go through and check all of my parts now and make sure that all of my paste layers are correct. But you can see here, totally different paste pads, totally different. Preference to put in default values. Right, but why would that be for the footprint editor? Like when I import it, I want it to be set at like part of import or preferences, footprint editor, default values. So will that get used at import time? Like all these parts are imported, right? And for a long time, I'm going to be importing Eagle. Like I want to get all of my Eagle projects over. For new things I draw, yeah, absolutely. But I'm talking about for, yeah, the import's coming in with 0.1. But they're not 0.1 in, well, I don't know what they are in Eagle. That's the point, right? Because they definitely should have 0 border. I'm pretty sure there's 0. Anyway, okay, I can look at that later. I'll look at that after the stream. Okay, so that's that done. Pad edit mode. Wait, why am I in pad edit mode? I must have hit it by accident. Okay, so save that. So now that's a whole bunch of DRC stuff that should be fixed now. Actually, I'll do the warnings as well. Right, they're all coming in not filled 0 border. They're all coming in shapes like you saw. Like all of the parts that I'm fixing now, they all came in from Eagle like that. Okay, so my warnings have gone down to 3, which is awesome. So where are my last 3 that I missed? Right, that one here, yep, I need to fix that. Yeah, I know I need to fix those ones, just silkscreen. These are all just silkscreen overlap, so they're really not the end of the world. Right, that's fine. My errors, I've still got 17 errors. And a lot of these are weird because again, maybe I'm not understanding enough about KiCAD yet. I can't work out how many of these are import errors. So, so it says board edge clearance violation. Clearance is 0.25, but the actual is 0. Now, that is because these have got milled. If I turn on edge, oh, it is on. Why can't we see? You can see this milled line here. Isn't that in edge cuts? Why can't I select? Because it's inside the pad. It's inside the, what do you call it? Okay. I've got to go to the component. Edit the footprint. Okay, try that again. So, JLC PCB require for peg legs slots. So they require that the, why can't I, right, there I can. Edge cuts. Okay, it is an edge cut. They require that it gets cut out like this. But obviously KiCAD doesn't like that because I've got an edge cut in a pad. So is there supposed to be a different way to do peg legs? Because in Eagle you can't do, that slot is incorrectly imported. No, it's not. I don't think it's incorrectly imported necessarily. I'm sure there was a key that overrode the option or command that overrode the grid snapping. Well, in KiCAD, an edge cut is the border of the PCB, right? A peg leg, not pig leg, a peg leg. So the USB, so it's not a pin. I don't have my other camera connected at the moment, but these little legs on a USB connector, they require slots. They're not a pin, they're a wide, narrow thing. In KiCAD footprint, I would expect that to just be an oval shape pad with no extra manual edge cuts, lines. But that's not how JLC PCB normally require them. And I've had this argument with them a lot. a lot. So I used to have a hole here. Oh, whoops. I used to have a hole here and a hole here with a cutout, and they wouldn't make my slots. They wouldn't do it. Needs an oval through hole. Now in Eagle, you can't do an oval hole in an oval pad. You can only do a circle hole in an oval pad, right? So, which is why it has to be done this way in Eagle. So if I create a pad, for argument's sake, and I edit the pad, and it's a pad type, fine, and I make it an oval, hole shape. Right, so you can't do that in Eagle. Not possible. Do I need to make it... Okay, I need to... I don't know. 1 by... Okay, I didn't change the settings. That was silly of me. I'd have to work out what all the maths were again for it. But see that? Can't do that in Eagle. But you can here. Well, there is no... But it's all called edge cut in KiCAD. There's no milling thing, right? So in Eagle, Eagle's got dimensions, which is your board outline, and milling. And that's how you do slots. You generally put your anything that's slots that you need cut out, like routing around the board, you put in your milling layer in Eagle. But at the end of the day, they both get put into dimensions, and they go into the... Can't remember what the Gerber's called, right? So in KiCAD, there's no milling, there's no separate one, just everything goes into edge cuts, which is any time you're cutting out the board. You take my footprint that is optimized. It's optimized for JLC. I don't know, mine's very optimized, my footprints are very optimized. Okay, I can redo mine with this. That's totally fine. That's actually so much easier. I just need to get the alignment right. Okay. I'm not going to save that right now. Okay, that'll solve that. That's great. Discard the changes. I'll do that later. So that'll solve these errors. Although I seem to have more than one error here. That's an edge clearance. They're both edge clearance. Okay. So I did start out with like 119 errors. All the errors are gone from here, which is fantastic. Okay. So I told you, we're getting there. We're definitely getting there. I need to fix this here. I need to... The back. Hey John, I've got a question for you. I am sure that before I bug reported that the D for drag crash, that I could use D to move anything around in the PCB editor. Like I can go to D here on a trace and I can move it around, but I could also go D and move this. Now it selects it, but it doesn't move it. Has that changed? I feel like that's changed. I don't believe that's what it used to. I used to be able to drag this stuff around. Footprint in Discord. Yeah, it looks similar, Mark. Okay, I'll have a look. Thank you. So I've had to tune my footprint a lot. Yeah, I know M for move. I don't want to move, I want to drag it. I know it does the same thing, but I want to drag it, and I'm pretty sure you could drag it. D's for drag for the router, so it's mostly for moving tracks vias. I know that, but I'm sure it used to move stuff, and it selects it. If I hover over something and oh, hang on. Maybe not selecting it now. Okay, anyway, maybe I'm just imagining it. I could just be imagining it. M is fine. The thing with M, for me, is that you see how it snaps the mouse? Unless that's been changed. There's a setting I've missed. Again, I don't recall it doing that. Center and work cursor on zoom. No. Panel, no. Common. Warp mouse to origin of moved object. Maybe that's it. Right. Okay, it's that. I must have had that. I don't know why I had that. Okay, that's fine. See? Everything can be solved. Why are they upside down? Also, to move and move with reference. You can change in hotkey settings. So what does move with reference do? Out of curiosity, I've not heard that. Why is that? 3D viewer. Yeah, it's mirrored, but I'm trying to work out why it's mirrored. Yeah, see that looks right. Look at me turning my head. That looks right. Why doesn't it look right? Oh, it does. It does. It's turning my head the wrong way. Okay. Sorry. This can go. Yay, the delete key. Okay, these need to be changed. These are actually, it's not yellow, it's now white. Is that a good abbreviation for white? WHT, I hope. Maybe should I just make it say white? Mate, I get custom thermocouples made now. And they couldn't put, they come pre-ferruled for me, so I used to do that myself. They couldn't put a yellow one on. They could only put a white and a red, not a yellow and a red. So, got to change these to all say white. Except white and white. So white is positive, red is minus. Good, okay. 5-volt output only, relay. So this is just the back of the board. Red, not red. No, red is red, although it's not, because white is red. White is red, and red is white, where red would have been yellow. Confusing. Very confusing. Thanks, John. I really appreciate you joining in. Thank you for your help. Again, how cool is that to get such awesome support from the KiCAD team? White. Yeah, it's funny. Isn't that how we spell white these days? How about that one? Took a while for someone to spot that. Yeah, it was very cool of John. That's what I meant. Like the level of support and care, honestly, is outstanding. I get they're a totally different entity to AutoCAD. I get that. But yeah, anyway. Alright, I need to fix my logo. So I need to change this footprint with I should have my logo in here. Logo small. Yay! Is there a like a disc? There is. I posted the link before. Wait, see if I can find it. Might have already gone past already. No. I could re-grab it again, but Mark, can you post the link if you can? Oh, I gotta get rid of the label. It'd be really cool. There might be a way already. I don't know. It'd be really cool if there was a way to. I should just leave this open and move it to the corner. If there was a way to set the default that when it brings things in like this, it automatically turns off. It automatically turns off these. Like I don't want them to be on by default. And there might be a place to do that. I don't know. I just haven't looked. There's a lot of settings and preferences to go through. Thank you, Mark. Appreciate it. So the back visually is looking good. The front, silkscreen wise, gonna move the reset. I'm gonna change the yellow to white. Gonna separate that more. They seem to be out a bit. Okay. So let's go to the front. I'm sure there's a nicer way to center them, but and do this as two labels. Ooh. So I did it again, hit that key. Nope. Output only. Should do that as 2 lines. Oh. So in Eagle you have to do Shift Enter to make it go 2 lines, and here you don't. That's thrown me a few times. Okay. Hey Mike. Hey Marie. Okay, so I need to fix this. Don't even really need this, but I want it to be a filled shape, but I want it to be much smaller. It's really just to designate where the 1 pin is, but I want it hidden. So it's going to be under the antenna. I don't really need it because there's only one direction the antenna's going. that should get rid of that warning as well. So I think the only errors I'm going to have now is the USB, I hope. So 0 warnings. I've still got the 17, and I think these are all. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. At least 7 of them are that. Or more. So I just need to fix the USB. Okay, so now it's about, I want to break out some more pins, and the question is, where do I do it? I mean, there's stacks of pins I can break out, right? Like I2C, I'd like to break out. Don't know who's going to use it, but it'd be nice. I had it broken out on my Reflow Master already. Don't know of anyone that used it. So I've got some space in the middle here where I can break out stuff. Just trying to think. Hey Miroslav. Like to paint roller, which is an eagle, to change. I don't believe so. I don't think they've got like a paint roller type thing. No. Maybe someone else will know the answer to that question. Okay, so yeah, where do I'm just looking at my, okay, I'm going to connect my camera up. 1 second. See if I can get this on. Okay, except I've got no light. I'm going to say the A word, everyone. Hold on 1 sec. Everyone mute. Actually, I'll mute myself. Yay. I can see you doing small length matching for USB or I2C. Can you see me doing it? Well, I don't need to do any length matching here for anything. I2C doesn't need length matching. What do you need length matching for I2C? And even USB or D plus D minus doesn't really, or for USB 2 doesn't need length matching. Well, you know. You went on mute. Really? Yes, I was. The meter didn't move. Right, you're trolling. Thank you. Thanks, Mark. Always a pleasure. Okay. So, oh, this is connected. This might be difficult. Hang on. I can't get it any further over. I have to do this on an angle. I'm sorry if the angle is wrecking anyone's mind. And you know what I can do? I'll turn my mat around. There you go. Now it's not going to trigger people. So, I mean, this is my nano version. Having spare space in the middle, though, I'm not sure how useful that's going to be. You can't really have the headers on the back sticking out because there are wires in the way, right? All the wires go in and out, right? Rather than out the sides, because then you need a really big, like you're going to bend the wires to get into a case. So maybe on this side, but you don't have room for headers because of the screen. There's only a small amount of space in there. So if I'm going to put, so originally I had here, there was these breakouts over here, and they were 90-degree angle. But that's where the buzzer is now, because I need the buzzer as close to the edge of a case as possible. Hey, Peter. So I'm not really sure where I could stick breakout and enough of them to really make them useful. That's the thing. I mean, down here, but I can't get enough stuff routed across because of the pins for the screen. Google thingies sometimes when I sit. Oh, really? That'd be annoying. Went with right angle headers on the Pro, not sure they fit on your board. Well, I've got right angle headers here, as I said, but I'm just not sure. Well, as the USB, sorry, the buzzer is in the way now. I can't really get the USB or the barrel jack any lower. I don't want to move the buzzer to the center of the board because it's going to become less audible. But if I did, I'd have that whole corner up there. But, yeah. So I've gone from having an external buzzer on the Reflow Master to putting it on board to save manufacturing cost and time. But it's still got to be useful. There's really nowhere else to stick it. I mean, I could break out some pins here. I could move the reset. This is not using a PAM. It's just using a transistor. And I'm hoping that'll be loud enough. I don't really want to put the PAM on here when I can, but it's just a whole bunch of extra components. And I thought about putting a surface mount header for the screen to not have the through hole here and not have to hand solder. And the problem is the width of the legs chew up too much space. The PAM is the audio amplifier that I use on my boards, the analog one. Like on my test jig, it's got the PAM with the buzzer, and it's quite loud. I guess they could be they could be a 90-degree header. If the pins are in the middle and it was a 90-degree header on the inside, so between the sandwich. But then they've got to come out the bottom, which means it's a problem with the case. Catch you later, Graham. Have a good day, mate. And I really want to keep the larger screw terminals. I don't want to go to a smaller screw terminal. You can overdrive a FET and it might be audible during its magic smoke moment. Hopefully no magic smoke. I can move the USB down a little bit, but I've got to be careful of conflicting cables. Catch you later, Photochromax. Have a good sleep, mate. I wonder if I can... How much room have I got for the screw terminal? Not a lot. I mean, I could... Whoop. Sorry. On the wrong thing when I hit the M key. I know it's going to break things. Oh, no, it won't if I move that over. Like, if I move that over a little bit and I move the... I could get some in. Well, I could get probably 1, 2, 3, 4. I could do a double row, maybe one of those double row ones. I'm using the buzzer and I can hear it in the oven okay, and I'm driving it with the transistor as well. Okay, I'm not sure where that buzzer is, but I've got stacks of these buzzers I use. I've got reels of them, so I want to keep using those. I mean, they're loud, but this is going to be inside a case, which makes a difference. It's still going to have wires that go off the bottom, which is the problem. Unless I ate into the bottom. That's an interesting idea. So if I was to, I'm just throwing it out there, right? So if I cut into, however I did it, cut into the board edge like this, and that's not even close. See, drag's not working anymore. I'm sure drag used to work. And this should be snapping to, maybe it won't because there's no corner there. Okay, anyway. So if I had a cutout at the bottom of the board, then people could wrap their cables around neatly. So if they were 90-degree headers, but I don't want to solder the headers on, right? I'm not soldering 90-degree headers on. I guess I could provide some 90-degree headers that people could solder on, that they can then use DuPont cables or whatever. Would someone use DuPont, or would they just solder things on? Wow. Catch you later, Fred. Or alternatively, I can just not worry about, like, let people worry about their own management of cables, and I could just, if I add in a is it header or connector? What are they called here? Con. Like I did a 1 by 8. I don't know how many pins I can break out. Annotate it. Cannot add J4. Oh, I didn't put a footprint on it. Yeah. Still, you see, that's okay. It's going to take a while for me to connector pin header 1 by 8. Not SMD. 1 by 8. Up there. Okay. Like if I had something like that there, which would basically just let people get rid of the silk screen, right? The idea is that they'd do that on the back, not the front. So, is there a, where do I mirror it? Side, back. Oh, why has it moved it? The anchor must be on a corner. Okay, so on the front you just see that, and on the back I'd have to rearrange some things, right? You'd have some headers, right? They'd have to be next to. I'm not sure I can fit 8. They need to be clear of the screw terminal. F for flip. Ooh, okay. Oh, it's centered on pin 1. That's why it was moving. Okay. So it needs to be clear, so if people do put headers on, the cables will run down and not be in the way of the other ones. I mean, that could work. Maybe it needs to be lower. I know, I've got to move those. Hey, Julian. Well, I'm working on the design, but I'm also still learning KiCAD at the same time and getting better at it. With the community's help and with the KiCAD team's help, getting better and better all the time. Less fumbling, less, what the hell? Hey, didn't I fix these? Didn't do these ones. Interesting. How am I going to do that? Because I can't fit. I'm going to have to do that whole white abbreviation thing. Maybe if I do like that instead. Thickness, can I adjust the line height? Position, no. Okay, that might be okay. The unknown of what's going to get selected when I click on something is still a bit weird. Maybe I'll get used to that. Definitely don't like the way this looks. Oop, see that? Can use 08, 08 and 153 for the text sizes. It comes out fine. No, I want it bigger. Hey, Cable Tie. Why isn't anyone doing trails? That's my favorite, I think. Yeah, that's not overly... They should be higher up. Okay, I mean, that's just cosmetics. I'll play with the cosmetics later. You need to put 2 holes at the bottom so you can have a cable tie. Ha 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 ha. What is going on? Okay, so what do we want to break? When 3 volts, what do we need? We need 3 volts. We need, well, not need. Like, what would be ideal to break out? Oh, I worked out it W and then X, not X. Oh, I thought it was X to finish. Now I can't remember what finishes it. Oh well. So what was finish again? What was the key? I can't remember what the key was. Oh, whatever. I thought I remembered it. Oh, Mark, you'll be happy to know that they also, with the fixing of the labels and stuff, they also fixed the labels coming in not being attached to the wires properly. There's no, if you want to do, you do exclamation mark RGB, and then you can use hex codes if you want to get mauve. I don't have mauve otherwise, and there's no black. I've only got some come up, yeah, like what Rob just did, except 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so if we did, so we want ground, okay, and we want 3.3 volts. Okay, we want I squared C, I guess, so that's 9 and 8. What else would break out? So I'm already using both SPI buses, so I don't know what you'll do with SPI as a broken out thing. Isn't finishing a wire floating a double click anymore? Well, I don't know. Sometimes it doesn't work for me. There's no alpha, Julian. Just a normal, like, yeah. So Cafe Babe won't quite work, but Cafe Bar will. If I do W and click, yeah, it does, but sometimes it doesn't for me. If I delete that, if I do wire again, W, okay, it did that time. Maybe I moved my mouse while it was happening. Yes, no, sprinkles with an S. No, sparkles, not sprinkle, sparkles. Remember, it only does the last one. So what else needs to be broken out? Can anyone think of anything? Some spare I/O? What people use spare I/O for? No, it'll only grab the last. So every time it goes and says grab the next command, it'll only grab the latest one. So you typed something and then Mark went and typed something. So Mark's was after yours, so it would have grabbed. Well, maybe. Right, Sparkles is working now. So who did Sparkles? Mark. It hasn't crashed, no, but it didn't clear before Sparkles, so it left things there. I need to fix that one. It's funny, like it overwrites them bit by bit. So you should be able to change the color now. You should be able to go like pink, and the sparkle should turn pink. Spare I/O, you can always remap their function, can't you? Well, no. Well, yes, but then you'll break the thing, right? So if you remap SPI, then SPI breaks and nothing works on the board. If you remap, what else are you going to remap, Rob? That's the point. I'm using both SPI, hardware SPIs right now. So there is no SPI that you can hijack. You can use the same SPI as the screen, or a slower one for the thermocouples, but if you remap the pins, then you're going to break things. Well, also, it really depends on what I do with the firmware. So you might not be able to change. So if I release this with MicroPython, you won't be able to change the code anyway. And possibly also with Arduino. So I'm undecided yet about what's happening with the code base on this, but right now I'm leaning towards not having the code base open source. Just letting everyone know. So one of the reasons my Reflow master code was open source, other than I was happy making it open source, was that so people could then add profiles and do stuff. They had to do it in code. But the downside to that is there are stacks of people who have taken my code and made their own controllers, modified the code, not contributed back, made competing products to me using my stuff. And as much as I love open source, I've mentioned before, that kind of, that's not the spirit of open source. And so using an ESP32 as a Reflow controller would be an extremely popular thing. Like right now, I get messages often about people saying, hey, can I use your code on an ESP32? Why doesn't it work? Why doesn't it compile? I can't get a SAMD. I want to build my own controller with an ESP32 and use your code. Well, yeah. So me having a new version of the software base for this with stacks of new features, with web interface, with multi-thermocouple, multi-fan control, and all sorts of other stuff, and then me releasing it and having people use it for their own products and for their own stuff is really something I'm not comfortable with. When you have open source, you've got to carefully not spill it. Yeah, you should speak to Yaz about that. She's really good at spilling open source all down the front of her. Sorry, Yaz. So yeah, I'm looking at not having the code base open source, or not having parts of the code base open source, which means that you wouldn't be able to modify the code to use I2C anyway. So there's no point in having this breakout. Okay. I clicked the wrong button. So after all of that, I'm going to delete this, at least for the first build I do with the board. Okay, gone. So that means all I have to do is fix the USB and it's done. And I can send it off to get it made. That's exciting. I can try Mark's USB. I can put it in and compare it. If I can find where it downloaded it to. KiCAD. Libraries. Okay, so no, actually that's not what I want to do. So add another USB port. And then if I change the footprint to be Mark's one, assuming I added it, was that it? Yep. No. What'd you call your footprint? USB type C. How do I refresh? Is it possible to refresh the thing? Your plastic holes, blue, look different. Possibly. Open source copycat was a concern for my Pocket Enigma, so I open sourced the hardware layer and the Enigma machine, but not the actual finished solution. You moved the bottom screw terminals a bit earlier in case they were in a particular spot. Yeah, I need to. That's a good point. Damn. Okay, hang on. Thank you. Fixed. You might have sent me the wrong one. No, you sent me the USB-C one. It's not refreshing. I need to refresh the list. So how profile is being made in this version? It's done via web interface. And they're stored locally in a JSON file. So you can add, edit, and delete profiles from a web interface on this. And you can fire up the web interface by pushing a button and then turning it off. Hang on. I think I showed that last week. How you do that. So yeah, I mean, so if I end up shipping the MicroPython version of this, you could modify the JSON files from the file system, but the actual code and everything else will be in the firmware, so not editable. And if I end up doing Arduino, what I'm planning on doing is using that web tool, so people will be able to update versions of the software if new software comes out, but they don't have to compile and flash it. They can just use they'll go to the Reflow Master Pro website, go to the web tool, as long as they're using Chrome, plug the device in and flash it with the latest version. Export and import functions for sharing across users. Well, originally my idea a long time ago was have a central repository where people could upload their profiles and people could look for profiles and stuff. I really don't think that's useful. Like I used to think it was useful. I think it's way more work than any benefit someone's going to get. At the end of the day, like, it'll take you longer to try to find someone else's profile for your paste than would be just to put your own profile together. Like, doing it from a web interface, adding a profile should be really quick, really simple. New footprint in Discord. Oh, that is a different footprint. But how can I tell KiCAD to refresh the libraries? Like in here, when I go to hit E to the footprint, like I want to refresh. Oh no, it does. It's just there. Right, okay. So the other one was wrong, it looks like. Okay, annotate. So if I bring that in, I'm curious to see what the difference is. Oh, error. J4 pad shield. Oh, probably because I've got nothing connected to it. Okay. Maybe that's okay. So, okay, spacing is a bit different on the pads. It's fairly close. I could just try it. So you had no problems with JLC for this? Because those holes look really close to the pads. JLC haven't knocked it back? Or have they modified it without asking you and telling you? I use a couple of different types of USB connectors, but they're from LCSC, yeah. They're mostly compatible. Like the pin spacing on them is slightly different, but they'll still work. They work between pads. Okay, look, I'll give this one a shot, I guess. So that's easy enough to do. Just delete that. And then I go to the other USB connector and I change the footprint. And now if I update, that should be your, that's not your footprint. USB socket, is it the one? Yeah, that's your thing. I stuck it in my unexpected maker library just to keep it separate, but why didn't it update? That's not it. We just need to do it. Update footprint from library. Update selected footprints with that doesn't look right. It's not updating it. Edit. Maybe I need to just change it. Let me, instead of update, do a change. Change. Right. Oh. Ah. Oh. You've got it centered. Okay. Well, that's a little annoying. Need to place foot Windows Patron schematic. Yeah, I don't want to do that on everything, just in case. If I do that, it'll go through everything on the schematic and everything in my board and change things. And I can't remember if I've changed anything manually in here. So yeah, that's I want to be careful on that. Okay, I just need to fix all these, I guess. See, I can't drag. It's not letting me drag. I can move. See that? D. Maybe it's... See, that's letting me drag that one. But I can't drag this one. Maybe it's locked. No, it's not locked. I mean, I can delete it. And redo them, like reconnect them, but oh, that's interesting. The pins don't line up. Like, you see that? The whatever the naming is hasn't matched properly. See, B1A12. They should be saying VBus or ground. So it hasn't, looks like it hasn't been able to match the pin names here to the USB properly. This should be USB_P, and it's not. Catch you later, Jerry. Take care. Have a good sleep. Check Discord. Right, you're using a very different schematic. Okay. Yeah, that's not going to work. Are you just using the standard one? Is it a standard USB one? Yeah, that'd be cool, Hojad. Yep. Okay, it's a standard one. I'm going to... just going to undo that for now, and I'm going to do that later. Okay, I think I've got everything back to what it was. No errors. Okay, good. Okay. Just change the symbol. I'm not giving up. I'm not giving up. So I like that your USB was centered. That's better for the pick and place machine. But I'm still trying to work out if I keep mine, because I know that mine's exactly how I want it to be. And I can just move the center of it, I guess, the pivot. And then I don't have to worry about changing the symbol. Like, all I need to do is change the pads. So I might just do that anyway. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it probably makes more sense for me, especially from a learning point of view, to just fix mine. No. Okay. Oval and oval. It's a pity it doesn't update in here. That's the only problem. Like, it's a pity that so what layer is that? This is for you to add the symbol and use mine. It's a bright Mark. Thank you for the sec. But why the need to use yours? Yeah, that's too big. Because it is the right and simple way. It's the right and simple way. Is it? I'm not a huge fan of that symbol. But yeah, getting this right is going to be quite painful. Pad position, pad size, 1.6 in the Y, 1 on the X, 1.6 and 1. I might still do that. 1.6 and 1. Oops. And I'll turn my edge cuts back on. .62, 4.02, 4.62 minus 4.02. It's 0.6 wide. Oh, I got the whole size right. 0.6 wide, and how long is it? Roughly 0.5. See, in Eagle, I like that whenever it shows you stuff like this, it also shows you the length and the width. Like, it calculates it for you, which is nice. 5.695 minus 4.495, 1.2. 1.2. So I guess those right. So this should technically be the right shape. Shared in live stream channel. Thank you very much. You never have too many USB connectors. From a discussion of SOC, I missed this from Bruce, from a discussion of SOC architectures and performance. Silica, LX106. How do you know which one's right? Okay. Right, ARM Cortex A15, that's nice. Let's get back to a regular ARM. Not the A's, but the M's. Right, the M7. So, they outperform the ESP32 cores, the extensor cores, although these are only LX6, not LX7. But, the chips are 10 times, 12 times more expensive. More. This is an M7, so they're not a Cortex M0, they're not a Cortex, the M5s, right? So, the SAMD 51s, they're not STM32s, you know, F4s or F this or whatever. Like, these are high end. The M7 is a high end ARM core. Super high end. So like, okay, how much is, here we go, let's see if we can find, let's go to DigiKey. We're going to go to DigiKey and we're going to see how much is a Cortex M0. Cortex, not M0, M7. Cortex M7. Bedded microcontrollers. $12, $11, $14, $15. Let's start at the cheapest. Or did I go the other way? $5.25 for... Oh, I've got this in the background. I should just place that. Okay, fix that in a second. 300 megahertz, 114. So 256K of RAM, okay, and 512K of flash. So 512K of flash instead of 4 meg, 256K of RAM instead of 512 for standard, and then plus PS RAM, right? Whatever, blah 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 blah. So it's got a lot more pins, 300 megahertz, single core, is $5.25. When it's normal pricing, 32 F7, I paid. Right, the ESP is a lot cheaper, sure. So, well, no, it's in this case it's not 8 times to that. So an ESP32, it depends what you're looking at, right? But an ESP32, even the ESP32 32 S2. Where's the mini one? Okay, here's a module that's got 4 mega flash, 2 megabytes of PS RAM, and it's $2.27, and it's got Wi-Fi. Hey Troy, I'm switching to KiCAD. I am not doing new projects in Eagle anymore, and I will eventually, I'm moving all my stuff over. Well, the stuff I need to move over, if it's stuff just in maintenance, I'll keep it in Eagle. But soon I'm not going to be able to open it in Eagle because I'm not going to pay another license, another yearly subscription for a program that they're not updating. And yeah, and I'm not going to be able to open my files anymore. So I'm trying hard to quickly get up to speed in KiCAD. Was there a line on this one? No. Damn. Okay, this pad is 1 and this is 2.1. This needs to be 2.1. That was 0.4. Maybe 1.7. Maybe that is correct. No, I wasn't deliberating on which to use. I'm definitely doing what I'm using my footprint. Maybe. I told you I wanted to at least get this one done. Go through the experience of actually doing it. So what layer is, how do I turn off these holes? Like it's not a SMTP layer. Like how do I turn off through holes? I like KiCAD and I've used it for a few projects, but Eagle Fusion 360 integration is going to be hard to give up. I don't use Eagle Fusion 360. Well, I don't use CAD in Fusion 360, and they broke or have made the Eagle to Fusion, two separate programs, bridge pretty busted for a long time. So if I'm going to do anything in Fusion, I still need to bring my boards into Fusion from Eagle. And at that point in time, I need to be working in Fusion, and I'm not sure what that gives me. Like, sure, getting to design a case around something is nice, but you can also take the STL from KiCAD and load that into Fusion and do the same thing, right? So, awful learning trying, but I'd not use... Well, that's what I'm looking at. At least I know that an imported one is my one. I'm not saying I'm going to use it. I just wanted to fix it. I wanted to fix mine. I've got plenty of other projects that use mine that I don't necessarily have to change because I'm not going to necessarily get the boards remade, but I still want them to be able to pass DRC if it can. That's all. Oops. So how do can I hide? No, I do realize, Mark. There could be bugs. I know. I'm just want to get this one done. Anyone know how I can hide in the layers? Like, which layer is this on? I want to see the SMD pads. I don't want to see these. How do I turn them off? Anyone? And Troy, look, just the fact is, they've done the wrong thing. Autodesk have done the wrong thing, right? So if they're abandoning Eagle, okay, abandon Eagle. Why they keep charging me to use it? Like, if you're not going to update it all, don't ask me to keep paying a subscription for it. It should become available. Like, not necessarily for new people to grab it, but I've been an Eagle user for years and years, been paying subs for years and years, and They're not updating it. They're not fixing bugs. They're not making it work properly under the new Mac OS. So don't charge me to keep using it, to keep it around for my legacy projects. And they are. They're charging me a continued yearly fee forever to keep it around. And that's just wrong. That's really, really wrong. No, they're not vague. They've announced. They've stated very clearly Eagle is dead. Eagle is not being updated anymore. Eagle is not being... It's over. They've clearly stated that. They have. It's really close, the Eagle import stuff. I mean, John saw the outline non-field pads thing. That's a bug, and they'll I'll bug report that afterwards, and hopefully they'll have that fixed as well. It's really super good, their import. It's very close now. Mark, I'm trying to explain. I want to hide this pad, this through-hole pad now, so I can get to the stuff underneath it. So I can see the stuff underneath it. I know I can click on it, and then I can... If I click, it does this thing. I want to see those things underneath it, and I can't because the pad is on top. Right? Does that make sense? But doesn't Eagle come with your Fusion sub? I don't have a Fusion sub. I have an Eagle sub. I bought Eagle. I want to see the edge cuts. That's all. Like here. I just want to see it clearer. I know I can probably. Can I not do? Oh, I can't do isolation mode in here. I mean, I know I can turn everything else off. Like I can hide layers, and I can just show this one. What? Okay, so that does put it on top. That arrow, okay. In the objects, you can do alpha. In the objects. What do you mean in the objects? You mean in here? I don't know what you mean by in the objects. But it's okay, I can see the thing now. If I click on the arrow next to the layer, it puts that on top. No, subscription was around way before Adobe did it. Tab next to layer. Oh, objects. Oh, okay. Thanks. Tracks, vires, pads. Right, but it does all pads. I mean, I could do that, but now I can't see. I need to see them together. I just wanted to make sure that this route was in the right spot, and it is. That's all. Before I delete it. You see that? That's close. That's all I wanted to see. But I can see that now. So that's good. So now I just want to delete the pads. But why can't I see the back ones? Oh, there we go. Oop. Gotta get rid of all these lines. Okay, so if I do that. How frustrated must Mark be right now? Seriously? He must be going out of his mind. Check Discord. That was for the object list. Okay. Mark's ignoring me. Okay. Yeah, all of these lines, look, I don't understand why it's brought in all these things. I don't mind doing a bit of cleanup from Eagle. Like, seriously, it's not the end of the world. Oh, what was that? I don't know what I just deleted. I shouldn't be able to select something that's got alpha 0, right? But I'm sure I can. Hope I haven't broken anything. One point I tried learning FreeCAD, but just couldn't get past the 80s. Look, yeah, I think FreeCAD's come a long way, but it's still... I mean, Fusion 360 by far is one of the best CAD tools out there. I mean, SolidWorks. In terms of all the things you get for the price point, I think it's... You can't go past Fusion. But I don't want to be doing my ECAD in Fusion. Simple as that. Oops. See, I want to select the... It's not letting me select. Yeah. This is still a bit awkward. The selection stuff is awkward. I get it's complex to do when you've got things sitting on top of each other, but... Okay. So that should be fixed. It goes clunky because of the always-on internet stuff, and in Australia, it's terrible. It really is. There are times where Fusion is totally unusable for me. So I don't want to be locked out from that point of view. Ooh, down to 4 errors. So there's still a clearance issue on something here for the pad. It doesn't like me connecting them both. Maybe that's because that was right, because it's going in and it shouldn't be going in. That's why. So if I delete that and I create a new one, whoops. You see how that it snaps it to the edge? I think that was legacy of it going to the center of the pad. No, it doesn't, Mark, because look at that. It says 2 errors, but it's not showing me any errors. Two unconnected items. Where's it showing me unconnected items? Oh. Interesting. Those 2 grounds are unconnected. And those aren't. They should all be connected together. It says these aren't connected to ground. Where do you set the pin assignments? Hey, Christian. The other shield pins. I'm not buying Altium. Never. Not for that. No. Might be good, but it's not that good that it requires me to pay that much per year, all the time. Yeah, it's Fusion 360 is not itself. Sometimes it can be clunky, it's slow, but it's the connectedness of it. Like you do an action sometimes and you don't realize that it's sending your action off to the servers somewhere to process in the cloud and then come back to you. And if you're having a bad internet day, those things either don't work or they're really, really slow. Sometimes I'll go to exit Fusion and it does the whole saving projects thing and it'll sit there for 20 minutes trying to save. Well, Eagles, it's still the same. It's $140 a year for me to keep accessing Eagle, 140 Aussie, 150 Aussie, to keep accessing Eagle, and I'm not getting any updates or any fixes, and it's broken. Like, if it wasn't broken, that would be okay. But it's broken for me in Big Sur. On a Mac with Big Sur, I've got 3 computers here, 3 completely different types of computers, and it's broken on every single one of them. It's unusable. So I don't understand why it thinks these are not connected. Or is that just because I didn't do a fill? Oh, see, they're not connected. Oh, right. They're not connected because of that and because of my keep out. Now that's interesting. I put my keep out too high. Okay, that makes more sense. That makes a lot more sense. Meanwhile in Sweden, me happily routing my board in Eagle on Big Sur. Yeah, sorry dude. I showed last week how bad it is on my machine. It is unusable. So I don't know why it's maybe usable for you. That courtyard isn't going through. So which other courtyard is going through? What's going through? That's the keep out zone. So what's blocking this? What's that? I can't see that red. Oh, did I put, is that just something I put in here? No. Maybe that's something from Eagle. Again, brought in from Eagle. That's possible. I think this is just an exclude area. If I do it B. Right, there we go. Okay, that's all that was. Whew. So, much to Mark's dismay, my USB connector's in. 0, 0. Okay, so now let's get Mark's one in. So, I need a USB. USB. So which one's the one that you were using? That looks, these all look different. Is that the one you're using? That's the one you're using. USB-C was, that's USB. Yeah, okay. So that's what you were using. And the footprint is that one. Okay, needs to be annotated. And we need to go see, I double clicked and you see what it did? Sometimes it gets that move, which is why I generally don't like double clicking. Again, it's probably my mouse, so I'm not going to complain. So why aren't these tied together? It's a bit annoying. And what are these? You just got them as not connected? Not connected, not connected. Okay. And the shields. Yeah, okay. So this is USB P. Can't type. CC1, CC2, D minus, D plus, ground, and what have I called the shield on mine? Just shield, SHLD. Okay. Bruce is learning the geography of somewhere. Where is the somewhere you're learning the geography of? You're going to go traveling? Oops. Save that and update. J3 pad shield 123 not found in Reflow Master Pro. That's not what I'm using though. Close. Why is it complaining about my footprint now? This is your footprint because it's really close. I'm not sure why it just complained when I brought that in about mine. Okay. So it's pretty close. Your pads are a bit narrower, those ones, but these front ones are about the same. Yeah, gonna send it that later. Okay. Okay, I'll delete mine. Look how much nicer mine is though. This is going to make a mess. This is definitely going to make a mess. CC1. D plus, D minus, and then ground. Okay. You prefer with the yellow fill? Yeah, I don't know. I'm not really into the yellow and red. Looks very old. Okay, so okay, there's only one connector now, and I'm going to have to now fix these pads. I'm just going to reconnect them just in case. Yeah, see, stuff like this, you see that? That's what I don't trust. Okay. It's a bit of wonky things happening, but see, why is that not going to the center? Why? Yeah, why is there two things in here, Mark? A4 and B9. Why there? What are there two pads for? Mark? Hello? Hello? Oh, always. There are technically two pins if you look at the USB connector. Yeah, but it's... So? But they're not two pins though. Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't use a. It's not that I use a different one. I just, yeah. And why are these on? Right. Okay. I haven't, Hojad. No, I'm still. I fixed mine, and now I'm looking at Mark's. But yeah, the two pad thing. It's the same pin. It's the same signal. I get they're two individual little wires, but they don't need to be two different individually routed things. That doesn't really make a lot of sense to me. Right, 0.6. ESC warning is not because of the footprint. No, it's not an ERC or DRC issue. It's I can't route to it. It's taking my trace to the center of the pads, which is not where I want to put it. That's okay. I'm gonna I'm gonna fix it. Hey, Richard. Yeah, I'll be finishing soon. Get this final USB thing sorted. See, look how good I'm getting at KiCAD. Crazy. Even hitting the right shortcuts, and I'm even using those shortcuts in Eagle now, which is tripping me up so badly. Okay. That's better. Better. Okay. The thermals on that. Yeah, I need to play with that. There's only one pad for this. Don't want to force you. Yeah, it's, well, that's fixed now. I'll have 3 different ones I can use. You can use the cursor. So once you press M, you can use the cursor to move. Oh, interesting. Okay, I didn't know that. Cool. Okay. One last DRC. Make sure that everything is good. No. We're back to errors again. Unconnected items. Oh, right. I need to connect my shields on this version. Okay. That's cool. Yeah, being able to nudge with the keyboard is cool. Okay, 0. We've got 0 errors. So, there's just some cosmetic stuff. And I want to... Right, oh, that's interesting. That's what I remembered. Oh, pity John's gone. I found another... Well, there was a bug in the version of KiCAD I was using. So I want to use the... You know, the labeling thing? The one that Greg Davil did the KiCAD version for? Can't remember what it was called again. Buzzard. And it says in the download instructions, you need to put it where the scripting folder is. And to get the scripting folder, you need to bring up the scripting window. And when I did that, it errored. Now I've got to find it where it is again. Okay, where's the scripting tools? Scripting console. I got a scripting console and... Right, that's fixed. So when I did scripting console before, it there was a whole bunch of errors in here. Like it was trying to launch Python and it couldn't. And there was like a massive stack trace of like 100 different things. So apparently somewhere in here I can find out where the folder is for so chat, are there any bare bones SimSys style bases for RP2040? Million libraries. You're going to get a million libraries. So somewhere in here, it tells me where it is. Oh, right here, startup script executed in. Oops. I want to get nice labels in. Mark Olson, tools, external plugins, JCP. What are those JLC PCB tools, Mark? What's that for? I don't have those. Create labels, right, but where does it go? Oh, reveal the plugin folder. Okay, that's not what's in the instructions on Buzzard. Right, so they go in there, do they? Okay, so let's go. Buzzard, KiCAD. Not the SparkFun one. Where's the Greg Devil one? Oh, Kai Buzzard is what I'm looking for. Right. Okay, so I just need the Buzzard folder, don't I? Download the zip. And so do I just need that? Refresh plugins. Whoa. Okay, what did I miss? Miss some instructions, maybe? Installation. You see how it tells me I need to do this? But anyway, that's fine. Unzip this into my folder. Oh, I don't know if I can trust you, Mark. Downloads. But this looks the same. Or not. Oh, I needed the whole folder. I didn't put the whole folder in. Right, that's why. I just put the inner one. Okay. Maybe that's why. Tools. It sounds like my Mac's going to take off. Refresh. Now, tools. External plugins. It's not showing up. It's not working, not coming up. Do I have to restart? Tools, external plugins, there's nothing here. Fresh plugins. Oh well, maybe I'll deal with that after. Maybe refresh doesn't work, possibly. So if I quit and go back in, tools, external plugins, right, create labels. Okay, so refresh doesn't work. So, bug. Okay. Oh, how cool is this? I don't know what I'm going to use it for. I don't need it for this. What I wanted this for was open remember this? I did actually finish this, but I don't like these labels, so that's why I tried to get working. So I want this to be 5 volt. Do I have to tell it what layer it's going on? Okay, let's try that again. Can I do a shortcut key to it? Oh. What happened? It didn't. Do I have to be on a specific layer? What do I need to do? I've already shown you in Discord. Oh, okay. I'm looking at what I'm working on, Mark. Not looking there. How do I... Does it need a width? It doesn't make it the first time, but it's not making it any time. Maybe there's a width issue because there's nothing in width. It's not making it at all. Okay. Whew. Well. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. Using KiCAD, you can replace the barrel connector with one that has slots. Slots, oh my god. No, I don't want one that has slots. My barrel connector doesn't have slots. My barrel connectors I use are breadboard friendly barrel connectors. They don't have slots. They have pins, which is why I've got those holes. Also, the 3D models for these are fracking ugly. Look at this. This is the only model they've got. It's not even the right one. Anyway, that is not what mine look like. They're not that big. Pins are in a different place. Anyway. But that's the board done. I mean, these are obviously the wrong screw terminals. They're not what mine look like. Mine are black and much smaller. But that's the LED driver board, which is sitting in my shopping cart for JLC. I haven't sent it off yet because I wanted to wait for the Reflow Master Pro boards, because shipping from China right now is horrific. Like, DHL are quoting 3 to 4 weeks now. So if I'm going to put stuff in to fab, I don't want to put multiple things and have to wait even longer. So that's that. But I wanted to get these things. I don't know why I can't get these things on. Maybe it's just an issue with the latest nightly, or whatever nightly I'm on. Yeah, it's not adding them. I don't know how it's supposed to work, where it's supposed to put it, but nothing's going in. Oh well, that's okay. Wow, holy moly. I've been going for almost 4 hours. No, 3 hours, almost 3 hours. I can't count, almost 3 hours. I think it's time to wrap it up, folks. But KiCAD, it's happening. Like, seriously, I never thought I'd even get to this level in KiCAD, and I'm quite happy about that. So I'm just going to work on cosmetics. Not that it really matters for the first prototype of this version of the Reflow Master Pro, but I'm going to work on just tweak a few cosmetics just to make sure, and then I'm going to send the board off. No, that was not the right one. What? Reel holder. Try again. I was on the silkscreen layer. I mean, I'll do it here. Like I'm on the silkscreen layer, and it's not doing anything. It's not added anything. Maybe I need to, is there any errors in the scripting console? Will I see anything in the scripting console if I do it? No. A reasonable time, semi-reasonable time, Rob. Would have thought you would have fallen asleep on the couch by now, mate. Okay, thank you everyone for joining and for your help again with getting me up to speed in KiCAD. I really appreciate it. It's changing the copper layer. I can't see it changing anything. Okay, anyway, I'll chat with you afterwards, Mark. I hope this week has scared you, for those that were looking at moving to KiCAD, because I know there's a few of you that are still on the fence and still using Eagle. My last stream, I felt like I did a really good job of showing everyone not to move to KiCAD. I hope that things changed on this one and people are feeling a lot more comfortable moving from Eagle to KiCAD. They're really putting a lot of effort into the Eagle importer and making sure it's really solid, which is fantastic. And I'll report these other bugs and make sure that they get fixed. And And even an old dog like me can learn a new app. And I've been putting off learning this for a really long time. So there you go. Don't be afraid of KiCAD. It's pretty cool. Pretty cool. Okay, thanks all. I'm going to try to get this breathing fixed. I don't know what it is. Doing me nuts on the logo, but yeah, we'll get there. See, look at that. How fast was that? Sparkles worked straight away. Okay. Bye, everyone. Have a great week. I will catch you all later. Thanks. Where's the end button? There it is. Bye. Oh, it landed on pink. Very good.